My name is Romero. I play professional softball for Athletes Unlimited. Formerly, I was at the University of Michigan, where I was a 4-time All-American and the 2016 Player of the Year. The biggest thing I enjoy with softball is the competitiveness of it, the quick pace of the game. I just love how fast it is. I don't feel bored. I feel like there's always something going on. So just the speed of the game. I think the biggest thing that motivates me is probably the fact that now I'm a little bit older. So having to compete with the younger generation now, I think that's enough motivation for me, just because I know they're coming in fresher, younger, feeling good. And for me, it's kind of a challenge of, can I beat the younger generation? I think the biggest thing that drove me was I always played with like a chip on my shoulder. I feel like I was passed up a lot in high school. Like, I had offers, I had eyes on me, but at the time, the specific schools I was looking at, they kind of passed me up because of my size. They didn't think I was gonna be as elite as I was. And so for me, it was wanting to prove them wrong. Anytime I played against them, definitely wanted to, stick it to them, let them know that they made a mistake. So for me, it was always playing with that chip on my shoulder. I think the biggest change in softball is the visibility. When I was playing in college, we were visible, but not even to the extent we are now, which is great. It just shows that softball's continuing to progress. I think that there's still a lot of room for change. I think they're doing a great job at the college level. I think that we need to do a better job at the pro level, so the college girls don't have to stop their career at college. They can go on to play pro, but not just play pro, but make a decent living, so that way they can actually focus on just playing and not holding down 1 to 2 jobs on the side. Biggest thing with recovery though is rolling out. I'm using the Mark Pro, I'm using those like hand rolls, like I'm using everything. And for me, I think the biggest thing has just been getting back that like muscle stimulation in my left leg, just to fully activate everything the way I want to activate it, making sure that those little muscles that are really important around that knee, just taking care of it. And I think as I've gotten older too, I've paid more attention to not only like what I'm using on my body, but also like what I'm putting into my body, like food-wise, because I do think that plays a huge part of recovery as well. But I think that ever since my injury, I've just focused more on the recovery side too, instead of I can train all day and then I'm good to go the rest of the week. That's not the case anymore. I have to have a time set for recovery, because then otherwise I won't make it through the week. Take care of your body now before it's too late. Don't wait for an injury to happen for you to start taking care of your body. Really investing in the recovery, just like you invest in your coaches, your trainers, like all that outside stuff that matters, the recovery matters too. The last thing you want is to have a serious injury as a young athlete before you even get to college, because in college, that's when the work really gets going. I mean, you think you're working hard in travel ball, just wait till college starts. So, taking care of your body beforehand so you don't have to, staying ready so you don't have to get ready type of mentality. The biggest tips and advice with muscle recovery, I feel like, a lot of female athletes, they avoid eating like a ton of protein to help with that muscle recovery side. I definitely think making sure you're getting in that proper intake of food is gonna be huge. Naturally, like, you gotta remember, in travel ball, you're playing sometimes 4-5 games, especially if you're like in the loser's bracket. So making sure you take care of yourself on that end is gonna be really important. Just like I did, do your research with the Mark Pro, with whatever it is you're investing in, because it is your body and you only get one. I feel like my muscles feel relaxed, but like recharged. Immediately when the Mark Pro first goes on, I can feel the tightness, oh, my body's definitely going through it right now. But after having it on for a little while, especially if I do it multiple times throughout the day, if it's like a weekend recovery or something, like I can really feel like rejuvenated. It's easy, because if I'm sitting down watching a show at night, I can just pop it on. Like, I don't need to be doing anything specific. So anytime I'm relaxing, it's an easy time to put it on. I would recommend it for any competitive athlete, any athlete in general that's putting their body through some type of strain. It's one of those things where, again, like, you want to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Don't wait until your body's just absolutely exhausted to be like, okay, I finally need to take care of it. I feel like the most common thing is, like, with younger athletes, they get a lot of aches and pain in their shoulder, because sometimes they're not having the correct or proper throwing mechanics. So it's like, take care of that. I mean, I think all young athletes are known to doing this, like, oh, I'm fine, like, I'll just work through it. But it's one of those things where if it happens when you're young, it's just gonna progressively get worse unless you fix something and do something different. So I would definitely say, any just athletes overall that are performing at, a tougher elite level, any athletes that are doing significant training, like, you're gonna need this for the recovery side. When I was playing in travel ball, I was feeling it. It didn't matter that I was young and, I still felt exhausted. Maybe my muscles and stuff weren't as tired or worn down, but like after a couple weekends, yes, I was. Maybe not immediately after, but after doing it consistently in a row, like you're gonna get worn down, and then ultimately that will just lead to more and more later on if you're not taking care of your body. So I would definitely say travel ball, just because I think all the softball players know travel ball is pretty serious, travel a lot, you're playing a lot of games. I think one of the biggest things I wish is, and I don't know why this is it, I hope it changes, but for some reason, baseball players, they invest like significantly early in themselves. I think softball players, that's like a next step for travel ball players. Like, take the step to invest in yourself and your body. These athletes are using Mark Pro in college. Like, you just don't see it because it's not being filmed all the time. You just don't see the behind the scenes stuff as much as you do maybe with the MLB. The ability to take it with me really is a game changer. I travel with my Mark Pro. I've used it on airplanes to try to flush out any swelling that happens when I'm flying, just because, again, I want to stay on top of it. But being able to carry it with me, take it anywhere and everywhere, whether it's to the field, hotel, when I travel, if I go international, wherever I go, it can go with me, which is really nice because I can just drop it in my bag. I feel like any product, especially a product like that, which is, there's so much more behind it, like this is like a legit like technology. I think being able to take that with me, I feel like sets it apart from anything else. I had it at AU when we were playing double headers this past season, and I felt like I was extremely popular because everybody wanted to use it, because they could just go walk around with it on, they could go sit somewhere comfortably with it on, whether it was in like the nice little floaty chairs they had there, whatever it was. Like, it's just super convenient for the athlete. You don't need that big old machine with you getting wheeled around everywhere. Like, I think that's what really is the biggest difference.